Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started with the meeting. I'd like an approval for the minutes from September 22nd, please. So moved. Second. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The financial report.
I don't have a copy of the, there we go. I see the treasurer's report. I've got the loan report. I know that one's gonna be a while. Let's see, so. So that's there. Yeah, I don't have any comments on the treasurer's report unless there's questions, and we can just jump right into the fun part of the meeting.
What are we earning on our savings account?
I don't know what you pay on savings account, 0.051%.
You bring me $1 million that's in that savings account and I'll get you a much better rate.
Yeah, so we have met with, Tab and I met with Community Bank. He was at the meeting.
Oh, Mike Long, the commercial lender,
No, not Mike. He's not a lender. He's more of a,
branch kind of guy.
yeah,
Okay.
the tall skinny guy. I forget what his name is. So we've been meeting with him. We're clearing up some issues with the accounts. So yeah, we're taking care of some admin issues, and then we're gonna talk about what we actually do with the money that's there. Yeah,
Okay.
we've had those discussions and more will be coming.
Yep.
But yeah, it's,
But keep in mind a high yield money market and potentially laddered CDs
mhm.
could get yourself up in the.
Yep, we
4
did.
to 5% range.
Yeah, we did talk about a combination of that and just. We wanted to just get together and think about how much for each different time period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yes, definitely money market and then some going on from there.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll revisit that. Okay, all right, so now on to the fun part. All right, so the loan report, number 3, that's on me. I've been trying to get in touch with them and I've just been having a difficulty getting in touch with them. And we're also working on a project and really with them and haven't really heard anything out of them either. Oh, that's right. You don't have one of these?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just fill me in.
Oh, that's right. We're not filmed. We're not on film.
Yeah, we're not
You are.
live.
Yeah, we are.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I can't use it.
Okay.
So we'll talk about it later. But you know the woman who never returns our phone calls? Yeah, okay. All right, number 9,
Yeah, I had a
Sean's
call
on
with
that.
them this week. They said they were sending in at least 2 of those payments. I asked about getting them onto auto pay. They're opposed to that. Their concern is because they get reimbursed through Medicare, it comes in lumpy. And they don't know when those reimbursements come in, so their concern was going on auto pay. They overdraw. I'm working on them. I'm trying to get them current.
Okay, good.
all right, number 12, I haven't had a chance to reach out to them. But the facility did sell this week. By my calculation, it was 3.5 million for the sale of that facility. I know Broome County has been paid off, and I just haven't had a chance to follow up and say, where's our check?
And didn't we also have another $50,000 loan for them?
Yes, that was supposed to be put on here, and it didn't get put on.
And we can't blame Tab, 1, because it's not her fault, and 2, because she's not here.
Right, yeah, so it's my fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Broad shoulders today, dude.
It's okay, it's all my fault. Yeah.
The buck stops here.
Yes, so I've been in with the county for the last 2 days, so yes, my shoulders are broad today.
Or hurting.
So Glenn, so that money that's due to us, they have to pay that to us as part of that sale, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
oh, yeah, yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah.
On that one, is the CARES Act gonna turn into a loan? We should talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
No, there's a way around that. We can just have the buyer assume the responsibility and they're immediately gonna kick the job creation numbers up, way up, so we'll be fine on that. Number 13, 14, 15, that's on me, working with, our contact with there to just do a global analysis of their equipment, who has what position all the UCC liens are, and developing a plan for moving forward.
They thinking about an auction.
I think there's a fire in the wings.
There's a potential buyer in the wings,
Okay.
and if that doesn't work out, this is what they tell me, that they think they'll be up and running in 24.
Gonna be a different person.
Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm supposed to have dinner with one of our contact people today at 5 o'clock. See if I can get anything more out of this.
mhm.
There's some guy, I guess, that used to work with them that seems to be very interested in taking on the thing. I don't know what kind of deal they're gonna work out.
Right. Okay, number 16, there's a sale pending for that. We've been asked for our payoff figure.
Really?
Yep. It was tentatively supposed to happen this month, but from my understanding, there's another slowdown in everything with closings. Have you experienced that? So, it was supposed to happen this month, but, it hasn't yet. And,
So
our
what-
attorney's involved in that, and
Do we
she's
know what
kind
it's selling
of.
for?
I thought it was in the range of 150,000.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yes,
No haircut needed there.
no. Okay, so switching over to the LDC number 10, that's Sean.
Yeah, been getting the runaround, quite frankly, from him. So, I had some constructive conversations about 3 weeks ago. I have been unable to get him to return a call or a voicemail for like the last 2 weeks. I've left a few of them. So,
And
Did
they've
we get the
progressively
place-
gotten more.
yes,
Did we get the place winterized at all?
we haven't, no.
We-
I haven't been able to get in touch with him on it, so.
Right. People will be able to get in probably to see if that's happened. Who's the village used for council?
Beth,
Yeah, that's Western. Yeah, I mean, we should get in there and winterize that.
Yeah.
So we don't have any broken pipes.
And then start the foreclosure process.
Oh, no.
That's just.
I mean, he's usually able to reach, if I call him, he answers the calls, but he bullshits his way around everything.
yeah, so he's very good at that.
Yeah.
And now that I think we're trying to call him on it is why he won't return Sean's phone calls.
Bullshit, a rodeo term.
It is.
Yeah.
Particularly from the clown barrel.
We should have taken that barrel.
Number 12 is just,
we should put it in writing or something.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to get in with
Yeah.
a key from him.
It's the point of sending a demand letter.
okay. And then we should probably reach out to, Lisa French if we're gonna take that step. So that the village could do the same. Well, probably we should talk to Beth Westfall first. Go through her.
Westfall.
Yeah, I've got her contact information at the office.
But ask her to give you whomever does that stuff for their firm. That's not really her specialty.
Right.
Number 19 is a new name to me.
No, they've been on. But yeah, so the amount, this one's on me. I haven't gotten a chance to reach out to, well, they're not in this county. They're over in
Oh,
Groton.
that's the one.
That was way back then.
Yeah, that
Way
was,
back
When we
when.
did as a.
we had to do this in order to be able to be eligible to get the ARP, the Agri Lending Program funding. So, you know, this guy's been a little squirrely with me over the last couple months. But, in addition to the collateral, which is equipment, we also have the personal guarantee of the owner of Chatham Sheep Herding Company.
Something like that. It's
Yeah.
Convoluted.
Yeah, but we have his personal guarantee and he's got means and his company is successful.
Yep.
There's a partnership arrangement between these two guys. I think the partnership arrangement is falling apart.
Okay.
And so, I've been meaning to follow up with it the last 2 weeks, because it is mine. I just haven't had a
As
chance.
long as Sean's writing default letters. Right enough.
Well, we're trying to split it up so it doesn't all fall on one person,
Right.
so,
But it's a template. Change the names. to
I'll
the
use the
amounts.
yeah. Yeah, but also I know this guy, you know, so, it's easier for me to.
When refresh my mind, what do they do?
They produce milk. And cheese and yogurt,
Isn't that a goat dairy?
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
milk and goat. No, goat and sheep, yeah. Yeah, so the partner is the sheep and First Light is the goat. Yeah, small ruminant creamery. I like that. A good term. Yes. Number 32, 33. We had some issues with the account with non-payment and everything. Have had to do a dive into it to get to it. And it's on my plate to follow up with him on the amount owed.
So they should be flushing their checking account this time of year.
Well, they should have been flush all summer long,
Right,
yes,
right. So is this indicative of bigger problems?
yes,
Okay.
managerial problems,
Uh-huh.
not pleasant. And it's hard to be in the hospitality industry if you're not pleasant.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
His product is good. His delivery is poor.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
We shouldn't say too much more on eight.
Yeah. Okay. And then 35, we're still following up with that. I haven't kicked Carly on that this past month. I've got to.
So.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't.
35.
I mean,
36.
36.
36. That's gonna be one we're gonna wanna take some write down at the end of the year.
Yeah, oh, yes, that's. Unless something magical happens.
Hmm.
We're still having trouble finding this guy. He's the one we hired a private detective for. Yeah.
It's not like the magical.
All right. So yes, I know it's a little ugly this month. You know, we've talked about it. We have to dedicate more time to working the loan report. We haven't really spent as much time this fall on that as we should have. But we'll get back on it. We'll get it cleared up by the end of the month, by the end of the year.
Okay. Any other questions? Thanks, Glenn. Sewage works
Yeah, I don't have anything on this. I didn't get a chance to update the financials. That's.
and project updates.
Okay, so, last year in 22, it was, the board approved 2 loans to Delaware Phoenix Distillery. One was through the O'Connor Ag Fund. We closed on that one. So this past August, they received their approval to move forward with operating the business, even though it was still in the estate receivership. So they had that permit and they started making some product. We had closed on a portion of the loan. It's on the loan report. Oh, no, it needs to go on the loan report. So that just happened in August. So there was a $10,000 loan to Delaware Phoenix Distillery. So then the remainder of it is for the purchase of the asset. All business assets that was tied up in the estate that has finally cleared. And we're expecting to close on that. And the full transfer of assets. Hopefully within the next several weeks.
People make the green ferry stuff.
Yes.
Right, there was an
Absinthe.
island in.
Right,
Yeah.
remember the woman passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so they did make a little bit of product though.
Yes, yep.
And did it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Yes, I think they will do
I
well.
hope so.
So that's just an update that, so they finally cleared that hurdle and hopefully we'll be going forward. The outdoor recreational app, did we talk about that last meeting? Or was that a committee meeting?
Was that the guy with the lemming tent or something?
No, this is a project Sean's gonna be undertaking in the new year. We received a grant for $250,000 from Empire State Development and in partnership with EDA to develop a
Digital tourism map that basically, the idea of it is that it's going to have all the trails, fishing access, snowmobile trails, things like that. The first iteration of it, we cannot use the map to show any private businesses, right? So the map is gonna be all the outdoor recreation assets. However, once it's built, once we've exhausted the grant funds, we would be able to go in and put in businesses into it. So it kind of creates like a framework that we can build off of. And, you know, as on its own, it will be a useful tourism tool, because then people can see, okay, here's where I can go. So we have 2 RFPs ready to go, one for the I don't know, your programmer of the
management.
map.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one for the developer of the map and then one for project management, creative. Branding and all that kind of thing. So the aim is to start this up in the new year with it to be ready. Probably like March timeframe of 2025.
Okay, yeah, that's just, that's one of Sean's big projects for that. The 7-3 there, property sales, so, the sales contracts for 9 Meredith and 115 Industrial Park Road have been completed and sent to the 2 entities. Intra de Aqua, which is the 115 Industrial Park Road. That will move forward as their whole final financing package evolves. 9 Meredith Street, he was busy the day he dropped it off. I dropped it off. I think he put it in a pile and then that pile got buried. So I have to get over and see him because he was anxious in moving forward. For Winkler, basically, we've pulled the plug on. We've agreed,
Yeah, we'd like to list it.
yeah, that we're gonna go back to list it. So 4 Winkler and 135 Delaware Ave are 2 properties that we would be listing over in Sydney. I have the person I'd like to work with. I just haven't had a chance to give her a call.
We listed the old Haymore.
That's the 135 Delaware Ave. Yep, so yeah, that'll go on too. We're not holding it anymore for what may or may not happen. And then Catskill Regional Harvest. That is gonna be listed with Catskill Country Living. There were some interior lighting issues that needed and a,
Plumbing,
and a leak to the dishwasher that needed to be addressed so they could take pictures to put it on the listing. But,
that should be listed in the next like 2 weeks.
yeah,
2-3
we're
weeks.
just waiting on the photo shoot in order for that to get out there and be listed. On 7-4, I haven't had any news on. As you'll recall, a week or two ago, I had a conversation with their project representative. At the time, I thought he was playing the role of helping them put the financing package together. No, he's the one who's gonna be financing the project. That's why he's looking at trying to get everything down as much as possible. So he and I had a very nice and long conversation where we definitely agreed that we were very far apart. I threw it back out to the board. Mike astutely said, are we just negotiating with ourselves? And so I told them if they wanted to make a counter offer, that would be fine. I spoke to the principal of the company yesterday or Wednesday or Thursday, I forget which. They were having a call with Dom then to discuss things. I told them I'll be available or you can contact me afterwards, and I haven't heard anything from them. So still just waiting on them to provide, to either agree or to provide a counter offer for your consideration. So that's where that one is.
Okay, well, we're talking about that. Can I address a few issues for a minute?
Yeah,
Okay, well, first one is the article that was in the Walton Reporter, the Walton Weed War.
yes,
There was a lot of things said that were untrue and incorrect. I'm embarrassed at the prior supervisor from there. We were accused of doing backhanded deals. There are no deals on any of the property. We were accused, either the board or the staff was accused of putting the deed restrictions on it, which came from the donor. I went back to the original attorney who handled this, and they said the donor was strict about that that's what they wanted. And we were accused of being the ones that did that. And they also said to look at our past history. Well, I wish they would look at our past history because it's fantastic. I mean, we've saved numerous jobs, we've created new jobs, we saved businesses from leaving the area. We've helped hundreds of new businesses. We've added millions of dollars to the economy in Delaware County. And now we're being accused of not working with people. It was just disgusting. This board here is all volunteer, dedicated people who, from all walks of life, both business owners, bankers, insurance people, private business, government agencies. And to be insulted like that, it was just no call for that. It's a lack of research, a lack of knowledge. I mean, it's just an embarrassment to all of us. And whether they're accusing us or the county staff, we have a fantastic county staff from economic development who do one heck of a job with a very small staff. This board is always saying they need more help. I mean, they're taking on more projects, saving the county tons of money in doing it and raising tons of money for the county. And to be accused of things like this is just not acceptable. I mean, I'm embarrassed by it. I mean, Glenn has been with us for quite a while. He's been here longer than I've been on this board. And the staff he has is just fantastic, and they work very hard. And to be accused of doing things improperly or behind the scenes is just disrespectful. And I just can't believe it happened. I didn't attend the meeting. All I'm going by is what I read in the paper. I don't see any corrections from the article, so I'm assuming that everything is correct in their article, because if it wasn't, they'd be complaining. I just felt this needs to be said and let people know they need to research us before they accuse us of things. And we've just done a great job to help Delaware County. It's an important division, and it's one of the smallest divisions in the county. And yet we do a tremendous amount for this county. So I just want to thank everybody on the board and Glenn staff for doing the work they do and taking the baloney that's being thrown at them. So,
No, I appreciate that, and just to let, you know, this board know, I do intend to reach out to one of the board members that were quoted and to try to address some of her concerns regarding what our track record seems to be to her versus what we believe it is, and I just haven't had a chance. I thought maybe they would be at the chamber dinner last week, but they didn't. I was trying to.
and then the other
find
one
it,
is,
but-
I handed out, a sheet on what my vision of Sheffield Estates is gonna be, or should be, or ways we can look at it. And this is just my suggestions of it. I think it's a very valuable piece of property. There are very few of them in Delaware County that meet this criteria. And we need to make the best of it, and you know, our goals out of that is to get as many jobs as possible. Solid companies in there that we hope will remain there. And assessment off of the buildings and the property they put, which will benefit everybody in Delaware County, so. We're working very hard on that property, and I just like to see us move forward on it, but. That's all I had, thank you.
I'd like to take what Bruce said a little further. When we were at the dinner at the chamber, Scott suggested to me that I do a compilation of Glenn's annual reports for the past X number of years. And so I asked Glenn to give me 5 years of annual reports, which he did. And I put them in this spreadsheet, which I had Tabitha attached to the Google Drive. And I think it's appropriate to go through this spreadsheet, because keep in mind that this spreadsheet covers COVID years. And it starts from 18 and goes to 22. And you'll see that we worked with 85 businesses. We did 4.699 million in loans. That spurred 19.3 million in private investment, created 240 jobs and 35 new businesses. And that's during the pandemic, and I think that's something that we should be pretty proud of. But I wanted everybody to see this. I sent the spreadsheet on to Lillian, and Lillian's going to work the spreadsheet into an article about us and use that as background information for her article. So I just thought everybody should see that.
Can you send me a spreadsheet to all of us?
It's in your, it's on the drive.
Since the very last one in there.
It's called the book PDF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it, because you do good work, and I what people think.
Who are these people that are saying these things?
The town board. And some of it is just false information, and they're providing this to the public.
Right.
He's supporting what was being said.
And he wasn't quoted, or from what we saw in the paper, he didn't say much. So, but that's accepted.
You have a couple of board members that are very anti-cannabis development in that park. And it all goes back to when we were approached to sell that for a mobile home park. And, you know, then we got into the whole thing where you can't do that because of the deed restriction on the property, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just snowballed from there.
And some of the ideas that are suggested there, we're starting off at $35,000 an acre, doesn't make it feasible. tying up good land on small projects with very little jobs, security, it just. Not a lot of investment in it, and that's not what we wanna see in an industrial park. You know, it took, what, 20 years, 30 years to fill up the one in Malton, and it's finally gonna be pretty cool, and there's some good job opportunities there. It takes time.
That's about the length of time it stayed in Sydney, maybe
Yeah.
40 years.
You know,
That
so,
gets started. That predates both you and me.
I think they're good things that happen. We did a tour of the Sydney Industrial Park, I don't know, 10 years ago. And it was 20, 40, 50 jobs here, there, and there. We ended up 350 jobs when you drove through the whole park. Which is better than getting an employer in here who employs 350, because if something happens, all your eggs in one basket. So, the board have done tremendous. It amazes me what the board has accomplished. And it's mostly because of the staff.
These numbers don't have what we did for Anthem.
Right.
Right.
And how many jobs did he save there? The neighboring counties were trying to steal them out from underneath us.
Mhm.
I mean,
All true. Thank you very much, Bruce.
quite upset.
But also, it is my understanding also that the town board now has recognized that. What happens in the village is a village issue, and they're letting the village deal with it.
Yeah, but the comments have already been said and the damage has been done. You know, we're spending. I argue about PR in this group not being enough, so all the work we're doing, and they just back end year from. Then it's hard to deal with people because other people read the paper. If you're a business and saying if there's that much trouble, why would I even consider coming here? I don't wanna be in the middle of that baloney, I go somewhere else where they want me.
But most people, you know, once the next week's paper comes out, nobody cares about the one they have.
Right, that was yesterday's news.
It was yesterday's news, so if we go back into it again, we're just furthering the thing. If you're gonna do an article that deals with, you know,
Hard success.
the success of the last 5 years or whatever, that's fine. With no reference to the malarkey that went on a month ago or whatever, then fine, but once you get into the match, that's nuts. Because now it brings it back in front of people again, who cares? That's my thought anyway, you just keep moving on.
Okay,
Back to the agenda.
Gwen, you want to, so we're good to go on the real estate property. Website compliance.
Yeah, so that's been an issue on my plate, and I apologize for the delay, but just so. There's a number of areas, I put it on a spreadsheet, to make it available to, the board. Regarding all the different things that, need to be done to bring us into compliance. The majority of them are either there in some form that may need to be tweaked, or available to be put there in some form that may need to be tweaked. And I just finished this week. I gave copies to Sean and Tab, we're the primary ones who will be doing things for it. And we're gonna meet on Monday, divide it up. I think for the majority of this, we'll be in compliance. I put 12:15 because I'm thinking, oh, well, that'll be before our next meeting. And everybody will be able to see it and we could go through it and blah, blah, blah. But we'll come to timing of our next meeting later. But so, yeah, so there's a number of things that are just documents that need to be posted. Some things need to be changed. The way we do our minutes will change. I have to sit down with Tab, that'll be starting after this meeting. as we've been trying to do with the agenda and assign things number and then the document, the board documents align with those numbers. Our minutes are gonna be the same way. And come more into not compliance, but more into what other IDAs are doing it with their minutes and how they're composed and conducted. Our loan report will be similarly undergoing a change because we will have to publicize that on a regular basis. Still working on whether that has to be monthly or annually, but it does have to be posted at least annually, if not monthly. So we're gonna have a new form for that.
Glenn,
Yeah,
do we have, what do you have to publish? The full report,
yes.
delinquencies and everything?
Yes, so what we're required to report on, for the loan size would be, name, business address, project amount, balance of project amount of the loan, balance, approval date, jobs, status, everything like that.
There's no HIPAA on this one, huh?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Privacy, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be on a section of the website. I mean, we're not gonna hide it. But very few people will, I'm gonna leave the design and format of it up to Sean. But let's say that's gonna come under a section of projects, and under projects, there'll be, multiple different things. There'll be grants, there'll be the loans, there'll be bonds, there'll be pilots, all of that stuff. And we'll provide the confidentiality that we're legally able to. Otherwise, we'll comply with the law.
Will that affect during our meeting going in the executive, or having to give more detail when we're doing the loan report? I mean, right now, we don't.
I think our current practice is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to go into any more detail than that. But there are gonna be some other changes in the way we do things. There are gonna be some policies that need to be. Well, I think only one, but maybe two policies. We'll get to that in a minute. Our agenda will need to be out on our website at least a week before the meeting. Our board packet documents, or at least the public portion of them, will have to be posted at least 24 hours before the meeting and remain on the website for up to 2 years. So all of this stuff is going to be out there. Minutes will now need to be done within 14 days of the meeting. So there's a number of things that will change the way we operate. As I mentioned, there are some policies that we'll have to do. One of the ones that I put in the board packet for this month was a conflict of interest policy. I don't know if anybody had gotten a chance to read that, but it basically just says, like we've always done in practice, but now it puts it down on paper, defines what a conflict is and what you're supposed to do. Abstain, declare what the conflict is, abstain, or, whatever. So there's that formal policy that we will need to approve at some point in time. Things that are gonna be some changes, and some of these things, there's no point in starting now. We're almost at the end of the year. But we kind of have them, or it'll be easy to create. We need to develop annual performance measures for the board. I figure we would do that at the next at our organizational meeting. We need to do assessment of internal controls, which is basically, we have to identify, the board has to identify what areas of our operation they think are subject to errors or potential fraud. And we would disclose what our measures are to prevent fraud, what our processes are. And then the board has to say, oh, well, there's a low risk and these are things, or you need to start doing this. So that's something new we'll be doing on an annual basis. There are some changes we'll have to make to our tax exemption policy. It's basically there, it's fine, all we need to do there is just include evaluation criteria, how we're evaluating projects. And then just to highlight our recapture thing. Fires new form, part of that is off my sheet here. Well, there's a couple new things that we started, so most of this, we can come into compliance with it at the end of the year. Some of the things, because it's oriented towards a given year, what's happening in that year, will be starting in 2024 with. But, yeah, we'll get there.
I think this is helpful. Thanks, Glenn. And I don't think we're that far away from being in good shape.
No, it'll, and yeah.
It looks like a daunting task.
Yeah, there's a lot, but a lot of it's gonna be like, oh, where are these? Well, they're right here, just, like our annual report.
Yeah.
We have our annual reports, we do them every year. Well, the last one we posted was 21, so we just have to get 22's annual report up there, and then we're in compliance with that, so it's minor things like that. And then just making sure that on an ongoing basis that it's there. And so that's why part of this is, the frequency with which we have to do it and who's gonna be responsible for the first time and then on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Tabs, and she's not here, most of it's gonna fall on her.
She just quit.
Yeah.
Is she gonna have time to do it?
Gotta do it. It's like anything else, we gotta do it.
Yeah, but is this where maybe we hire a contractor to do it and make sure it stays up in compliance?
We'll see.
It's the same argument we've talked about before. You keep taking on more. And you guys can only do so much.
But I think once you get this in place, it's a matter of just updating it from time to time. I think the hard.
Yeah,
part
I
is
think
just
we-
getting it in place.
Yeah, it's just gonna establish their new timeframes, get ingrained and,
Right.
okay, I don't do the agenda a week before the meeting, I have to do it 2 weeks before the meeting. It's not that Tabitha waits to the week before the meeting to do the minutes. That means next week she's gonna do the minutes and post a draft version on the, yeah.
Right, but it's adding the time to do that while she's doing all the other responsibilities she has.
Yeah, but see, in my mind, that'll just free her up at the end of the month, so it all.
And she's gonna be doing the work she didn't do in the beginning of the month that she was supposed to have done. To be doing it.
Well, that's opportunities for her to get some comp time.
Nice when she's not here.
Well, no, she did indicate she would be interested, and she's got a cruise planned for next year, so yeah, this is perfect, it'll allow her to earn some comp time for her next year. So she's 100% behind us. Oh, that's her calling saying.
She's on Zoom, man.
All right, so that's
Okay.
it, it'll just be a process, I'm comfortable with that, where we are, where we'll
Yep.
be by December. And then just some of these other stuffs are just new things we'll be doing moving forward.
Is it like a best practices?
Yes,
Glenn, do you want to do?
and it's all in law, so it's all various things that have been passed, so yeah.
Do you want to do the motion on the compliance or on the conflict of interest?
If the board has had a chance to review it, yeah.
I'm still looking for that here. Oh, compliance, yeah, there we go.
Anybody want a hard copy?
I mean, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
So without the, anyway.
I'd like to go.
I mean, really, this
This-
is
this
covered in our
allows
code of
like a-
ethics and our bylaws already, but it's a standalone policy now. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, it's asking me to pay money for something.
Just give them.
I get the only question I had was many years ago, there was as always, there's always a problem somewhere in Ulster County with the IDA. But you couldn't recuse yourself from the vote in the IDA if you were on the board. It's something in state law. And there was one guy that, say he was from Hancock and something came up and he was somehow involved, or family, he recused himself on a vote. And this, at the time, the state said, you can't recuse yourself, you can resign from the board. And I'm just wondering if that's in
Yeah,
state
that
law
must have
or
changed, yes, because it's specifically
Says it
stated
here.
what your actions are supposed to
to
be.
be.
But all we're approving is the policy. We have to in January resign or agree to a new one, like we do every year.
You didn't redline that for the changes from what we approved in January. did you?
We don't currently have a conflict of interest policy. There are provisions for that in our code of ethics, as well as in our bylaws that speak to conflict of interest, what you're supposed to do, but we don't have a policy. Our T is not crossed. We have a T, but we
It's
didn't
not
cross it.
crossed. It's not
Now we're
capitalized.
crossing it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I'll move to approve the conflict of interest policy as presented today.
There's two of them there, one for the IDA and one for the LDC.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll have an acknowledgement. You only have to acknowledge it once.
Well, we should acknowledge.
We'll have to acknowledge. So at the next meeting, I just didn't get a chance to find a form that I would have you guys sign.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have you do the one that I have to do for the county. I think that's intrusive, but so it's just an acknowledgement. Yep, I've read it. That's it.
Mhm.
We'll have that for the next meeting.
Okay, so we've got a motion and second on the compliance measures. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Step one. Okay, I think at this point, we probably should go into executive session to review an application for a pilot agreement.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, we're back out of executive session and I'd like a motion to approve moving to public hearing for the application, for a pilot application for Clark Companies and their new office project.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Any other old or new business?
We have the one for the tellus.
Oh, Lactalis, I'm sorry, excuse me. Also in the executive session, we discussed the pilot program for Lactalis in Walton. May I have a motion to approve going to public hearing for that one? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now I'll move on to older new business. There being none, I have a motion to adjourn. Second,
Second.
and let's
There
open,
you go. It's okay to have your-
let's open the LDC meeting. I need approval for the draft minutes.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? I need approval on the financial, the treasurer's report, the loan report and the invoices.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Glenn, you got the CARES Act.
Is there anything worth mentioning on the CARES Act? We're almost done with that.
Almost done.
We're working on our last project. So we're hoping to get that. Our deadline's the end of this year, so we're hoping to. get
That'll
that
be
through.
worth a toast.
Yeah,
Okay, any other old or new, oh, Sean, you wanted to talk about,
Yeah, just real briefly, so there is, the Community Development Finance Association. I think it would be worthwhile for us to consider joining. They have some very robust online and in-person educational programs. They actually have their national conference going on in a couple weeks. We're gonna be going on to a Zoom webinar for food systems finance in November. This is the one I sent you. So they have a lot of really good content. I think it'd be a great way to get kind of plugged in on what's going on with development finance. They have a lot of focus on rural development, housing, food systems. I think it'd just be a good thing for us to get involved with and, you know, be able to take advantage of. Sorry?
I make a motion that we.
so the dues, no, but the travel and the actual paying for the actual seminars that we then sign up for, yes. But if so, but if the, I guess would be most applicable to the LDC. The LDC could handle the dues, I can handle the actual course requests through my county budget.
Yep. Do you really need a motion for $675, or did we give you authority to do it?
Yeah, it's within that.
Right.
Yeah, as long as everybody's in favor.
Yeah, no. Good for you.
yep, I'm good with it. I think it's excellent. Okay, any other old or new business? We needed a motion to adjourn. Thank you very much. Thank you, Florida.